What's up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you want Ben Simmons ran out of town.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Folks, Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Not what I thought about thinking about doing a show on a Monday, bringing back Monday morning quarterback that we had a few weeks off from. Thinking after Game 7, we're going to come in here. We're going to do a show around 5:15, 5:20 on a Monday, and we're going to be puffing our chests about wanting Milwaukee. This is Monday Morning Quarterback, only on A2D Radio. Every Monday, we are brought to you by the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. We know many of us and our families deal with mental health and addiction issues. We're happy to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, please call 856-651-8117. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, the family out there join us. I would love to say welcome into you, but this is more like a funeral. Yeah, I mean, it's a funeral. We got to figure out what we're going to do with our assets, right? You know what I mean? This is where we're at. This is what it's come to. And we'll talk the future of Ben Simmons with the rest of this roster as well. And we'll have a Sixers Q&A, and everything's going to tie into our poll question, which is brought to you by bodycheckwellness.com. You can use promo code A2D and get yourself 20% off at checkout. That's bodycheckwellness.com. Promo code A2D, 20% off at checkout. Our poll question, the Sixers will make major changes this offseason. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow, download, join the conversation, and get off every question you have. Get it all out. We're going to be on with you for an hour. So just air it out. It's an air out session. Now, to the poll, do I think major changes? I don't know. Last year we begged for a coaching change. We got that, right? You can pretty much book that's not going to happen. So, I'm not even going to talk about that because it's just not going to happen. No matter what, they owe him a lot of money. He's not going anywhere after 1 year. Now, would major changes being like Ben Simmons moved? Is that considered a major change? Because what do you get? You're not going to get anything. You're almost not going to get anything, and that's where you're at. So I don't know. This is the same organization that took a while to move on from just Brett Brown. Right? I mean, they really stayed with him for a while, which means they had to believe in what he believed in or believed in this roster and these guys. Now, Daryl doesn't know anything to the players drafted before him or to the air quote, I'm not going to say process because Ben's not even part of the process. That's Joel. Joel Embiid's the process. Ben Simmons is just a guy who was drafted number 1 overall here that was supposed to be that extra piece. That next piece. It was supposed to be Joel and Ben. How far can they carry us? I mean, I can see Ben moved, obviously, and he should be. Like, I'm done with him. I got nothing left to say. There's never going to be a holdout hope of he'll figure it out and he'll develop an offensive game and he'll just have a 1-2, or he'll just be aggressive and not be scared, timid, etc., which doesn't win in this league. Scared, timid does not win in this league. Killers win in this league. And it's always been that way. Always has. And he plays with one and who has nothing around him to play with in terms of guard play. Especially at the point guard position in a league full of guys who can get their own bucket and create. And he can create but never get his own bucket. He can create for a dish out or cute pass and and stack up assist numbers, and everybody wants to tell you how he's a point guard. Okay, he's not. So, I mean, with Ben being like the only thing moved, then if that's major changes, then I'll agree to the poll that major changes, that the Sixers will make major changes, because I think he's gone. I just think he has to be the guy going. Mm-hmm. Can they run it back? Can they? I mean, they can. The NBA, it's hard to get out of contracts. It's hard to get out of deals. Does Daryl just settle for less just to get a guy out of here? I don't know. That's going to be a conversation between him, Doc Rivers, Elton Brand. Did they decide to put him at the 4? Did they decide to play him at the 5 and put Joel at the 4 and have Ben cover other 4s? Like, I'm just giving you guys every opportunity that they have out or in their outs, because teams are full of outs and stuff. And if they're going to get back, like, I don't know, like a D'Angelo Russell, I'm good. Then I'll just stay with the horse shit I got in him. You know what I mean? So there's like certain guys that I'll sign up for at this point. And there's other guys I'll just say no. And I hate this guy. I hate this guy. I'll just switch positions. Get the point guard out of your head. Let Maxey come in, and he's your starting point guard day 1 next year. Now, you still don't have enough shooters. And the problem becomes it becomes 4-on-5 because teams don't have to cover him. Does the 5 make teams have to cover him more? I don't think so, because I don't think he's aggressive enough. And we saw last night with an opportunity to dunk on Trae Young and really change momentum in that arena last night. And he settled for the whatever that was of a pass to Matisse Thybulle. So, I mean, everybody's going to say, well, I heard Magic Johnson today. Oh, we got to give a veteran around them and a change of scenery. Are you okay, Magic? Because you didn't bring veterans in here this year that have been yelling at him to shoot. You didn't bring a veteran head coach in here and an assistant like Sam Cassell. And these guys can't get it out of him. He actually got worse. And you think going somewhere else and a change of scenery makes it all better? We all said that. See, this is when you don't have a pulse on the situation. We all talked about Doc Rivers and Sam and all them being a change of scenery, right? That's what we spoke about. Mm-hmm. That change of scenery regressed him as a basketball player. And these issues are going to continue to come up in the postseason, year in, year out, no matter what he does in the regular season. If they're going to continue to show their ugly head, him being running the point in this league in the postseason just is never going to work. It's never going to work unless he just wants to expand his game a little bit. And that might never even work because of the mental challenges that seem to come up in the postseason every year for him.
Every year.
He gets worse every postseason. He's actually gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby.
Maybe, I mean, Bobby, again, you look at the Summer League videos and all that, of him shooting jumpers and all this stuff. I mean, I'm never going to say it's going to change, though. I'm never going to sit out here and tell people, like, you know what? Just give it time. We've given it enough time. We supported this guy in a game 5 at home when he went to the line, and we were cheering him on for making a free throw. Like standing ovation. Standing O. Change of scenery isn't going to do nothing for this guy. Unless you're saying he won't even play for Team Australia. So, I mean, he's doubtful to play for Team Australia now when it was somewhere he was going to play for. He won't even play for them. The guy doesn't want to be coached up. He says it is what it is last night. It is what it is. Okay. It is what it is. We know. We know. You don't have a dick. We get it. There's no dick and balls. Okay? That's it, because it is what it is with you. The softest playoff performances, and it's not even a performance, the softest appearance in the postseason I've ever witnessed from a guy who's supposed to be an all-star. Okay, so I'm done with anything like Ben Simmons. He could go. I don't care, but I could see them with the cop out of some fashion and try to change his position. That's the only thing you can do. Because he's not going to shoot. And anybody thinks he's just going to all of a sudden decide, you know what, now's the time. You know, I know I've been playing coy with you. Good for you. I want to have the Kool-Aid you're drinking, but then I also see the other side where they'll say no. Or they'll say, not yet. We're not getting what we want in return.
It's so tough.
I do agree that something's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, I want to agree something's going to happen because the day after you're in that predicament, like where it's like we're mad. Mm-hmm. We're mad. But I don't see the head coach going anywhere. I don't see this staff going anywhere. I don't see Joe going anywhere. I don't know about Tobias because this is another postseason dud for him too. So, I mean, he could go too. But you got to do something. So, I mean, I'll agree. But then I also could see them saying, you know what, we're just going to play him at the 4.
To me, I mean, there's so many levels to this. I agree with 99.9% of what you said, Tom. And like you said, you know, the options are on the table, and it sucks that it's even gotten to this point. You know, I'm glad that you mentioned because for some reason, I'm not even talking about the defenders because I haven't really seen many of those this morning or even last night of Ben Simmons, but there's still people out there saying, oh, this is like they're acting like this is a new thing with Ben Simmons. And to this degree, yeah, like obviously he hasn't been this much of a liability at the free throw line and he hasn't been benched in late minutes in the playoffs before, obviously. But if you look at the first 4 years, the last 4 years, the only 4 years where he's been in the playoffs, well, really only 3 because the 1 year last year he wasn't even friggin' there. He was on the shelf. So 3 out of the first 4 years, he's been a liability in the playoffs from day one. And it's like different phases of liability. It's like the 0-1 point game, whatever hell that was against the Celtics in his rookie year. It was him disappearing for a couple games against Brooklyn and then him not even being a threat at all against Toronto. And then whatever the hell you want to call this. So this isn't new. And to your point, Tom, you can look at a guy, regardless of if he's a number 1 pick or if he's 6'10" and fast as hell, strong as hell, whatever. You can look at any player just in a microscope and say, okay, you've got to get better some way in your first 4 years. We're going on 5. Honestly, 5 if we're talking about the year where he just sat out. It's been in the league for 5 years. And every single year he's gotten worse. Then you look around him, right? And listen, there's a lot to unpack as far as the people that are at fault in this organization and on this team. But you look up and down the roster. I'm pissed at Doc Rivers. I'm mad. But A, you're not firing him because, to your point, Tom, they just signed him. You're not eating that money. And 2, everyone else improved under Doc Rivers. There's only one guy, notably, unless you're talking about the friggin' bench warmers, there's only one starter that didn't improve under Doc Rivers. And it's 25. So, yeah, like I hear you, Tom, as far as, you know.
Well, two. Because, I mean, in the postseason is what I got to look at. I'm tired of regular season basketball.
Fair.
I mean, I'm almost like a Bucks fan now. Like the regular season means nothing to me. Nothing to me anymore. Like, so Tobias Harris had a better regular season. He's more consistent. Whoop de fucking do. I watched him miss layup after layup. So did he get better? No, because coaches can't get you tough.
They can't. You can't teach it. How many times do we talk about that with all sports, Tom? You either have it or you don't. So for all the people, and listen, to your point, Tom, I'm envious of the people that are positive today on the grand landscape of Ben Simmons' career, whether it's in Philly or friggin' wherever he goes, if he goes somewhere. I truly don't believe there's going to be an inner awakening of, oh my God, I have to shoot threes or shoot 12-foot jumpers. Because number one, we didn't even really give a damn about that. 2, it's not even about that anymore. We have decreased so much, so now we got to get back to square one. Can he make a damn layup or a dunk? And can he make a free throw? A free throw. Can he finish games? So I hear you. Can they play him at the 4? Maybe, but then that compromises what Doc Rivers was saying they loved about Tobias Harris to where he's getting back into his natural role. So then do you sacrifice whatever Tobias Harris is for the sake of just trying to figure something out for Ben? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's tough.
If you can't trade him, you don't have a choice, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing.
Off of like nobody wanting him. I'm giving you the side of like there's not the like you're talking Jonathan Simmons back, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm talking like trade value is You thought
10 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, you thought Markelle Fultz was bad trade value. I mean, hold my beer. I mean, that's what this is. So to me, I'm scared about it because I got to do something because what I've been doing hasn't been working. And the only thing I can hope for is because we know what these other three are, right? Like we know what Tobias Harris is. I've seen enough Tobias Harris who had his career to know what he is.
Yep.
And it's a meh. It's a meh. He's a meh.
Yep. Number 3 star on a team.
Maybe.
Streaky.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe a number 3. Maybe. Like, you know what I mean? And
that's his ceiling. But that's his ceiling.
Yeah, that's it. It's it. He's never going to be the second guy. It was proven this year. No matter how good Joel plays, it doesn't matter because it doesn't relieve pressure off of these two to play better. Like in the postseason, just doesn't. So he is what he is. He's not athletic enough, and that's why he needs to play the 4, right? And then he's not tough enough on the glass to play the 4, in my opinion. So I'm not a Tobias Harris guy. I just, I kept him over Jimmy because he was younger, and I was like, okay, like I'd rather have the younger contract and hoping that Ben would develop, right, and get better. That Tobias could be the essential third option. Never happened, but. So what do you have to do? You know what them other guys are, so you got to pray Maxey's good.
Yep.
Right?
No, you need to know. If you're not making a major change, Tom, I'll one-up you. You need to pray Maxey's great.
Because, I don't think you're going to get great, though. I think you got a chance of getting very good.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm not. Nobody's saying that I think he's going to be great, but if you are going to go into next year and you're going to run it back, Maxey needs to be like one of the most improved players of the NBA, which is a high bar. I love the kid. And, you talk about all the improvements that he's made in a half year, in a COVID year. But that's a lot of pressure to put on him. You know what I'm saying? His second year.
It is. It is. Now, I think he can handle it because of what he'd be playing around.
Yeah.
So, like, could he have a good year because he's playing with a true big man like that and not running minutes with Dwight Howard, essentially?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, could he? I mean, again, I love Maxey, and I think his speed, definitely playing with a guy like Joel, can be huge for him. But I'm also not going to run around crowning a kid either and expect him to be more than what he should be in his second year. I think he can be an easy 12 to 15 a night guy in his second year in a starting role? Absolutely, I think he can.
Do you think in the next 2-3 years he can be that clutch number 2 guy next to Joel? Because that's what this organization needs to look for.
I have hard hope saying anything anymore because I'm like just scared of everything. But could he be a 20 a night guy type guard? Yeah, he could. He could. Could he be more than that? I don't know. Is he dropping 25 a night? I don't know. I mean, I expect his mid-range and out game to get even better. So I mean. So yes, I mean he could be a legit scorer in this league, and I'm not saying like a top 10 guy. I'm just saying like a legit top 20 scorer, maybe just because of his speed, and his ability to finish around the rim. Yeah, I mean I think he can create mismatches for people, and he gets to play with a big man. So, I have Joel's caliber.
Like, can we get like? I know you and I love this guy, but like, can we get him to? I'm not saying next year. I mean, God, but. In the next handful of years, can we get him to around De'Aaron Fox level? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying he's the exact same player as him, but around that level. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
That's the issue, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love him. I think he's going to be a really good piece of this organization for many years. He's one on the, like, I'll just tell you this. When you talk grand landscape of this entire team, there's only 3 guys that I have on the list of I don't touch. And it's no shot at any of the other guys, but tell me if you guys agree with this, and same to you, Tom. There's only 3 guys that I don't move. Embiid, Seth, Maxey. Everyone else is fair game. And I'm not saying Dwight's trash. I'm not saying Danny Green's trash, but I'm saying like Those three guys I do not touch. Everyone else, if you're able to get good value for them, all right. And it sucks because like I love the Damian Lillard stuff, but people need to understand you're not getting Ben Simmons, Damian Lillard 1-on-1. I don't give a damn about the age. It doesn't matter. Ben Simmons is a liability. He is broken. Okay? So the Damian Lillard stuff, 1-for-1, that's out the friggin' window. I don't know if you're even gonna be able to get McCollum for Simmons 1-on-1.
Yeah, real quick to the first question, I would add one more into that list. Like to me, Danny Green, definitely bring back.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to bring.
So yeah. So I mean, I bring Danny, Seth, and I freaking, like I said, I can't. I'm not the biased guy. It's Tobias and Joel. I mean, that's really it. I mean, and I'm not even great with.
Thibault can go.
Thibault could have went a while ago for me. I mean, I've never been the Matisse guy. He does, maybe he'll shoot it a little bit better if he continues to try to get better at the three ball. Then he becomes something that can be value for you. But I don't know, man. I mean, it's star-driven league. It's a star-driven league. I can't say it enough to people that want to listen to it that maybe never watched basketball before. It's a star-driven league, and without stars, you ain't winning shit. And if you look around the league, like at the end of the day, Milwaukee's going to beat Atlanta. Okay, you can just write that in. All right, Milwaukee's beating Atlanta, and if the Suns hold off, a team with legit package of three damn good basketball players in different fashions for each team is going to be cutting the nets down. So and you're talking about all guys who can score, right? So you're talking about when you in the Atlanta series, Trae Young now has to guard Drew Holiday, and I'm not like crowning Drew Holiday. I'm just saying that now he's got to work. Like they could literally have one guy on defense not work. And I think that was going on already the whole series where he just didn't have to cover anybody because Ben just sits there and stands around and just gives you an out. It's a joke. I mean, imagine how good Joel Embiid would be not playing 4-on-5 offensively. I mean, you're talking about Tobias Harris likes to get to the rim. First off, he stinks getting to the rim and finishing at the rim, but he's a guy who that's his game. That's his game, right? Joel, everybody bitches and moans. Oh, he's not in the post enough. Because this fucking guy clogs shit up.
Yep.
Nobody wants to hear that. Like, I get it. I want it back to the basket all the time, too. But tell me why over two regimes now have we seen the same shit with Joel at times? Well, because it's clogged. Because there's a guy on the court that nobody respects, and he has to go hide himself down around the basket. It's a joke.
And it's in the way. And it's getting in the way. That's the issue. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like,
so you can blame Doc and Brett, and I agree. They all deserve blame. Brett's time was done.
Yep.
And I love the Doc hiring. And I know he has shortcomings. But it's a little hard offensively when you're 4 or 5 every freaking game. And credit and a little credit to Doc, too, for, like, I mean, what do you want him to do? People say, oh, they ran the most bench minutes at a blah, 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 blah. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, dude, he's got to bring a guy, He's got one guy playing with a bad knee. He's got another guy who's a liability just on the court. And he's without probably the most important part of their starting rotation outside of Joel Embiid, which was Danny Green. So, I mean, that's not an excuse to lose a Game 7 at home. None of it is.
And they were constantly in foul trouble, too.
Yeah, like, nothing. And the refs did not help this series. Okay? And all that, we still should have won this damn series. Even with as bad as that dude played in Ben Simmons, and as bad as Tobias Harris played. So, like, I need Maxey to get better and start and come into a starting role, right? But again, like, I agree with you. There's no untouchable on this roster outside of Joel Embiid to me right now. Hence, trust the process because I'm going to continue to thrust it. There's no untouchable. That's the only untouchable to me. I do not move on from him. You can literally pack everybody's bags tomorrow for me. Even like if it traded Maxey to get stuff back, I need another star.
Yeah, it's no longer about the youthful thing.
No, I would mention youthful right real quick and then go. I would mention youthful before the deadline. Yeah. I want to hold on.
Exactly.
That's what I think about the hold on.
Because in all honesty, and this isn't just with the youth thing, we have to question everything about the culture of this organization. Because when you go into a series against, and again, no disrespect to the Atlanta Hawks, you guys beat us in the series. You're going to go on to Milwaukee. Awesome. So I'm not trashing any of the Hawks, okay?
1 second. Let me kill this fucking fly.
Miyagi. They were inferior, okay? The Hawks were the inferior team. They obviously didn't play like it. The results weren't that. But coming into the series, they were inferior. We dropped 3 games at home to them. 3. I don't give a damn if you want to put it on the coach, the players, X, Y, and Z. When that happens, when you're the number 1 seed and you talk about a path, when you see everything blowing up around you, from injuries to the Nets being eliminated, etc., that's inexcusable. So I compare it to 2 things. One basketball, one football, and it's both in the early 2000s. And maybe we can look back on that, and maybe we can learn from the mistakes that we suffered through all those years. You saw Donovan McNabb and Allen Iverson, okay? 2 all-time greats in the city. Neither one of them got help. You now have a generational big man. Did he show up entirely in the latter part of the series? No. Mostly because, again, torn friggin' meniscus. Also pressing because his teammates wouldn't show up. This is a generational talent you have. And I'm not saying he's going to be around for 1 more year, 2 more years. I have no idea. But it's time for this organization to flip the switch on, we're going to grow with our youth and develop to, oh my God, it's now. This generational big man, he's playing like this now. He's playing through injuries now. So we need to capitalize on this now. If that's trading Simmons and Tobias together, okay. If that's trading 100 different picks, fine. We did that with the picks. This is the time where you need to go all in and make a splash. Tom, you and I were the same thing through majority of the season. Let it play out. Trust in the culture. Trust in the guys you have here, and let's figure it out. Well, we got our answer. And we honestly have been getting our answer the last 4 years. So, yeah, I'm not saying you got to go out and ship Ben Simmons out for pennies because you don't want to completely get robbed, especially when Ben Simmons, of course, because it's Philadelphia, he could figure it out, and then we're sitting back with, once again, a Jonathan Simmons type thing. But anyone who's saying out there, and I've seen a lot of people saying, Ben Simmons is still 100% safe because this organization buys into him. That's fine. And I'm not saying the organization's fully out on it. But this is the same general manager, Daryl Morey, that technically already traded him once. That trade was sent. The phone calls were made to Matisse Thybulle, Mike Scott, Ben Simmons. You've been traded to Houston. Only reason why they didn't is because Houston didn't want to go and do business with Daryl. So technically, he's traded him once in season before all this happened. So I think the biggest deciding factor, and we talked about it last night, is this. If he gets an offer that he believes is valuable enough, this could happen very quickly. But if he's still on the roster in a couple months, well, then we know, to your point, Tom, the market is just flat out dried out.
Yeah, I don't know if he was necessarily definitely shipped to Houston, but I mean, he was in conversations a lot, and we all know why. So I mean, he was in a bunch of conversations that maybe Daryl Morey wasn't totally sold. I mean, I don't know how anybody watched him throughout this series and can sit there and think his job's safe here as a player. I don't know how you watch that and just assume that it's safe. Told you, the only reason it's safe is because you might not get anything back, and they might say fuck it. But I mean, like I said, Joel has to try to recruit players and do what he does, do what he can do, because at the end of the day, the rest of it doesn't matter. Where's the other star on the roster? There isn't one. And we're going to sit here and wait another year for this guy to figure it out. with them chances being slim to nothing. Like, I don't know. I'm a big believer in hope, but not that big. I can't do that anymore.
One suit, appreciate the $5 super chat. He says Maxey and Shake keep Jimmy back. Oh no, you keep Maxey and Shake, get Jimmy back, get rid of Tobias and Simmons, maybe make. Well, number one, you're not getting Jimmy back. Number two, get rid of Tobias and Simmons. I mean, for the right price, sure, and then maybe make a move for Lillard. Yeah, I just don't think that's in the card, guys. I don't. Why? Like, honestly, we can, as Sixers fans, we can say, oh yeah, just Ben for Lillard. Of course, makes sense. But we have to ask ourselves, why would they do that? Why? What, to pair Ben Simmons up with McCollum? Like, McCollum's a good player. If you're making a deal with Portland, it's the other way around. You're getting McCollum for Ben, and I don't even know if that's even in the cards. I know, NBA execs say that's, feasible. Yeah, in comparison to the Lillard thing, yes. But no, I get the, setting our sights for the highest possible option, but yeah, like Robert, I get it. Like, get rid of every pick for Lillard, but I just don't believe. Like, Tom, do you honestly believe that's even possible?
Every pick for Lillard? No, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what Portland's just done with it, or he's just saying, you know what, I want out that bad where they don't have a choice, right? I mean, but still, I don't know. They could probably get more value elsewhere, right? I mean, so no, I don't think that's I don't think that. I just don't think how anybody would buy into that, right? You know what I mean? How are you buying into Dame Lillard right now? Like that they would be willing to trade him for Ben Simmons or even like 50 picks. The fuck are these fucking flies? Wait, Ben is Ben buried out here? I mean, what's going on? I mean, who buried somebody?
His jump shot's buried out there. I know Rob right here. He says, because I'm done with the picks, just pull all your cards on the table. Win now. I agree with you. Like, listen, if you're nobody think that we're against Damian Lillard. I just don't think that's a possibility. That's all. Let's see. Blue City Empire Sports. Fam, if you have any questions, by the way, we're going to hang out with you for another 30-some minutes. So if you have any questions regarding anything, let us know. He says, get Kyle Lowry and Zach LaVine. I'm not doing the
shit flying around my head. I mean, it's unbelievable. Get Lowry and LaVine.
No, I can't do the Lowry thing. He's 35.
You just said earlier there's no waiting around anymore. It doesn't matter.
But if I'm going to go old, I'm not going Lowry. Because I don't think Lowry and Embiid's good enough.
Well, he said Lowry and LaVine.
Oh, both, yes. But I mean, that's a 2-team trade. I mean, that's like a 3-team trade then.
Yeah, I don't know how you're doing that. I'm just saying, like, yes. I mean, at this point, yes. Give me both of them. I don't even care anymore.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you went into the year with LaVine, Lowry, and Embiid, that's better than what you have now.
Oh, man. It's just sad times. Because you went from being able to get, like, a player to Harden's caliber. And I'm not a James Harden guy, but you went from that level of player to what? Like I said last night, Markelle Fultz. I mean, I'll take Fultz back at this point for him. Like, you know what I mean? That's what you're left with, essentially. That's what you're left with. I'm kidding about wanting Fultz back before people freak the fuck out. But, I mean, it's just a point. That's where it came to. Thanks, John. I just wanted to say I love ATD, and although I'm heartbroken, I look forward to your coverage of the all season. Please, Morey, work your magic. I don't know how much I'm looking forward to it, Johnny. We appreciate the words. I don't look forward to this coverage. I'd rather be still having a conversation about Eastern Conference Finals or bust and be there. And that conversation that was talked about all year being worth something. Right? And it's not worth shit now. And it's another year where we're going to go into a regular season of whatever, 82 games, 72, whatever they're going to play next year, right? And no matter what happens throughout the regular season, I got to expect something bad to happen come playoff time. And unless there's like a major shakeup, right? I got to assume that this is exactly what's going to happen again. Another second round exit. Mm-hmm. It was all set up for this team.
if you weren't going to get over the hump this year, when are you going to? That's the issue.
Never will.
Alex asks, is there anything the Sixers can do this offseason to raise Ben's stock? Serious question.
What? Alex will resurface the YouTube bits. You know what I mean? Like the Summer League videos to get your marketing team working magic. I mean, even that, I don't know how that changes any stock. And all it's going to do is make people blow him here again. So the stains are going to come running back and they'll be defending him. Look, told you he's improving, and then we're going to get the same thing. Damn it.
Honestly, you know what would have raised his stock, but it's not going to happen because he's going to go running high. We're not going to see him probably for the rest of the summer. If he would have gone nuts in the Olympics for Australia, say he has say he goes crazy. That's it. Yeah. That would have been it.
Yeah, but he's not playing now, so there's that.
Cancun.
There's that. I don't listen. It's devastating, and even for a guy like myself who's not like Mr. Ben Simmons, it's just devastating. DJ Forbes, appreciate the super chat. Would you compare Simmons to Wentz? No, because one guy actually is tough. One guy actually is tough. The other guy, there's no toughness. There's no any of that. The situations are different. In terms of injuries, in terms of, just how that last year went down. So no, I mean, because the difference is Carson never had a star with him.
Well, he did in the year they did. They were the number 1 seed and went to the friggin' Super Bowl.
He never had one, right? You know what I mean? The other guy had one. Hold
on. DJ, I know Tom and I debated about this last night. Would I compare them as players and their work ethic? No, absolutely not. Carson Wentz, if anything, he worked a little too hard. You know what I'm saying? He pressed too much, which led to the fumbles, interceptions. So he was going to do kind of like what we saw. I'm not comparing him to Embiid. I'm not. So everyone getting on the freaking keyboards, stop. I'm not comparing him to Embiid. But we saw with Embiid at times, both in this year and in past years, he presses a little too much. You know what I'm saying? And that causes the turnovers and all that stuff. So the work ethic, no. Simmons is a friggin' he's nothing compared to the work ethic of Wentz, okay? The exit, as far as how both of them are going to exit this city, I think it's very similar. Because you look at it to where both of them, they looked a couple years ago like they were going to be generational talents. Both of them, if anybody did a top 3, top 5 list as far as the talents in this city, a couple years ago, they were both towards the top, along with Embiid and I guess Harper, when he arrived here. But now you saw with Wentz, it wasn't a matter of, is he going to get better? It's a matter of, okay, it's done. It's hit a wall. He's not going to improve. It's just, wash your hands with it, move on. And you got pennies on the dollar for him. It's very similar to Simmons. Extremely similar to Simmons. So to answer, it's kind of 2 parts. To answer your question as far as the players, no, they're not similar at all. Wentz fought. Wentz played hard. He showed up. And he fought at his faults. The exits, though, I think could be really similar, which sucks because if I would have said to you guys, if I would have said to myself, hey, a year ago, if I would have said,
did the organization with a high value pick take your replacement? No. Right? So in terms of that, you could smell the writing on the wall at least.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like, okay, when are they going to pull this trigger? Right? We didn't think it was going to be that quick, but we sort of could smell the writing on the wall a little bit.
Yep.
With Ben, there was no smelling writing on the wall. You know what I mean? There was none of it. Like there was, this was the year he was going to take the next step. This was, everybody said, this was the year, underdog, blah, 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 blah. Right? And it's the complete opposite.
Terrell, thank you for the super chat, brother. He says, do you think we could package Ben with picks and maybe Shake or Thibault for Levine? It would have to be like a 3-for-1 or a 4-for-2. Because you're not doing Simmons for Levine straight up. At least I wouldn't if I'm Chicago. I would do whatever it takes to get Levine here because that's exactly the guy you need. He's actually a year younger than Embiid, so you're still staying with the youth. This guy has balls. This guy can flat out score. He doesn't need to be on the ball at all times because obviously he runs. He could be on ball, but he could also be off ball. He can shoot. He can get to the rim. He can. I know everyone says that he can just dunk and all that stuff, but he's that instant scorer with balls that can take over with Embiid or without Embiid. The issue is, I don't know if they meaning Chicago, are going to be willing to do it because they just got Vucevic. So I would imagine they want to try and at least go to the deadline to see if that pairing works out. But also they have to keep in mind that LaVine's going to be a free agent after this year. So he only has one more year left on his deal. And given their current cap situation, they are going to be shelled cap-wise if they extend him long-term. They really won't have a semblance of a bench. So they can look at it, hey, LaVine, we're going to send them to Philly for, Thibault picks, maybe Milton and Simmons, because at least Simmons has 4 years left on a contract, and they always like Simmons. Chicago's always been on Simmons.
Yeah, but does he have... See, I know he can do things, and I know he's that guard that can score, but, how much of a... again, how... You're in the same boat in a way, in different ways, because, how much losing does he just have on him all over, right? He just...
No, I hear you. No, I listen, I get it to where that you're trading all of that and you're still technically getting a question mark because then you're looking at, okay, well, is this going to be a Tobias Harris thing to where he shows up in the regular season, but as soon as the playoff shows up, boom, hits a wall. So that's fair. It's very fair. I just think I don't know. I just, me, I've always bought into LaVine. I just think he can score so many different ways, and I think he is the exact opposite of soft. But to your point, it is a question. It's not that guarantee of a Lillard or somebody who we know has had big moments in the playoffs before.
Yeah, or big moments, period, really, because you're talking about a guy who should have at least gotten his team into the postseason this year when it's expanded. And then you don't, it's right? Then you're wondering because it is expanded, and they went out. They have a guard who plays well with them, obviously, and Kobe White, and then you talk about they went out and got Vuk, and they just got worse. So, not going to put that all on him, but I just don't know. Again, I said last night that I would pull the trigger because of the situation you're in, but it doesn't. It's not like that deal is not that puts me over the hump deal. Yeah, I got to see it. I got to see it. I got to see him on a night-to-night basis to see what type of player he is.
And this isn't the greatest defense of LaVine, but the one thing I would say is that they would have definitely made the playoffs. LaVine got hurt a week after Vuk got there. So that's the only, you know what I'm saying? So where if they had that month span of playing together, I fully expect to. Who knows?
That's a whole year to at least tread some water, and they didn't again. So it's it's expanded, and you still can't even sniff it.
That's fair. It's fair.
So listen, it might be the biggest upgrade of all time. I don't fucking know. I just, you're not going to get that star back. So people can tell me LaVine's numbers. I know his numbers. I know he's athletic as shit. I know what he can do. I know he can shoot the basketball. Right. I'm begging for a guard who can create. He can create. So, playing with Joel shouldn't hurt him, right? Shouldn't. So.
Ira, no, I want no part of John Collins. Sorry. No, you got – I'm guessing – I don't know if you're a Hawks fan, but the Hawks are going to re-sign because they would lose him for nothing. So he's going to get overpaid, and good for him, but I'm good. I know he just dunked on Embiid's head while putting him in a chokehold, but I'm good.
John, for Daryl Morey, start getting things cooking.
That man's on the phone probably right now.
Yeah, I just don't know how. You pick up the phone today. You're picking up the phone early and calling people. You're really diminishing his value, too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're really starting to diminish it now. The way whisper down the line works, everybody's going to find out about it, and then that lowers his value even more. So it's just a bad situation to be in.
Which
which ties in the K-Joe. Doc Rivers and Sixers are already spinning the narrative. Now Ben is in development. He's not playing in the Olympics to focus, blah, blah, blah. He's staying, shake my head. And that's what I opened the show with. I agree to the poll, I think, because I want it to happen, right? There's want to and agreeing because you want to, and then there's the other side of it. Spin fucking city coming. Oh, we'll go put him at the 4, or we're going to develop him. He's going to shoot this year. Oh, okay. All right. Now I'm going to get spun around again. It's just a joke. It's not even fair to be a fan of this.
It's tough. Well, I would say this, okay, because this has been a debate all morning. If you're Joel Embiid and Embiid goes to management this morning and says, okay, I'm not going to request a trade, but you got to get me help. I've tried getting through Ben. We've all tried to get through Ben. I need you to ship him out and get help. Would that A, make him a bad teammate, and B, would you do that if you were Embiid?
Would it make him a bad teammate?
Yes.
No, because we all watch it.
Correct.
Do I want him doing that? No. I want him to focus on him and hope the guys around are smart enough. But that's probably your only way out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I said last night. Like I would have said I want him out. I know a lot of guys probably would have been done with it. And there could be things said behind closed doors, right? That mean that. Or maybe that dude still believes in him somehow. I don't think he does. But they've always had a pretty good relationship. So yeah. I don't know. Losing can fry those things, right? Losing certain ways can fry those things. The way you play on one leg and you give it all out for a team when you didn't have to play, right? And you do that, and the other guy is healthy and he just doesn't play. I don't know how you, like as a competitor, I don't know how you're okay with that. I don't think he is. But I also don't think he's the type of guy to do that to a guy that he's been friends with for this long. Right, which like almost he's in like a catch-22 with it.
It's so tough because I think with anything, I think loyalty is one of the best traits somebody can have. Not just in life. I'm not just talking basketball, obviously, but you also have to recognize two things. One, the loyalty that you're getting in return. And then the sacrifice, okay? You can list numerous different times that Embiid has sacrificed for this team and his teammates. I'm not gonna be that guy that says Ben Simmons has never sacrificed. I don't know. I don't know if he's played through injury. I don't know. But if we're putting a pedestal on who's sacrificed more, especially this season, it's a friggin' landslide. So it's like, okay, well, when you've got one guy who has put his team on his back the entire season, then has a tear in his friggin' knee, and then he comes back and he's doing everything, falling on the ground doing X, Y, and Z, and then you have a guy who doesn't shoot in the fourth quarter for 5 straight games. To your point, Tom, that could fracture a relationship. That goes past, oh, well, we've been best friends for the past 5 years. It's like, well, damn, where the hell you been? You weren't there last year. You left the bubble because you got hurt. The year before, you left me out to dry. The year before, you left me out to dry. Same thing this year. So, and it's also recognizing, okay, well, Embiid has that pool now. It's not like he's the 23-year-old kid who, it took 2 years to get on the basketball court. This was a bona fide MVP candidate. He's the face of the franchise. He's somebody that he is the face of this entire city, honestly, when you talk about sports. He has the pull, in my opinion, to go into a locker room or into a GM's office and say, I need friggin' help. Especially when you look at the windows of people around them. You see Milwaukee. They go out. They already have Giannis, who's a 2-time MVP, and Chris Middleton. And they say, you know what? That's not good enough. We're going to trade X, Y, and Z to go get Drew Holiday. You have friggin' Brooklyn forming a super team. You know what I'm saying? The Celtics, they're going to make
it. But Giannis didn't go around chirping for it. Right? Like, you know what I mean? So he didn't go around like begging and you knew he was, he was dictating he wanted management. He signed on a dotted line to stay. So it was actually like complete opposite, where like he's signing on that knowing that they're going to do what's best for him and continue to put guys around him, of course, right? And, the Sixers did that this year. They went out and got Seth Curry. They went out and got Danny Green. They went and got shooters around Joe, right? So they definitely went out and did that. I just don't think he needs to.
Okay.
Like, that's my point. He doesn't need to. They know it. The only way he doesn't get dealt is if the value is that low. It's as simple as that. Where they're just saying, no, I'm not going to take that back. Nope. I'll see what kind of work this guy wants to put in the offseason and see if he comes back a different player. And if he does, then maybe I trade him once his value goes higher. Or maybe then I get the guy I've been looking for. Neither I think are going – like, I don't think the one's going to happen. You know what I mean? That he works on it and he gets better. Like, you know what I mean? I don't believe that's going to happen. But that, like, I can see the other side of it where they're like, nope, we're not moving this. Not yet. And not yet because it's not time. Not yet because I'm not getting anything back. But there's always somebody out there that thinks maybe they can fix a guy. But does that team have a guy worthy enough to get back in the deal? And what we mean, and what us fans need is worthy, and as an organization to feel like this deal puts me over the top. I don't know their money situation. I don't know how their whole thing works out next year. I don't know what they're eligible to go out and bring in. I don't know any of that. I believe Seth is still under contract, right?
Yes.
And what? Danny's not now?
Danny is the only free agent out of the starting five.
And according to Danny last night, Doc told him he's not going anywhere.
So Doc was talking about Danny because the way it was written, I'm sure you and I saw the same post. I couldn't tell if it was Doc telling Danny that Doc would be back or Doc telling Danny that Danny would be back.
Yeah, I took it as Doc telling Danny that Danny was coming back.
Okay, good.
So that's how I took that. Now, so I don't know what that leaves them money-wise. That's why I could see the whole run it back game. I'm not saying I love it. And then we're putting the hope in one fucking player again.
Well, all right, so I'll play the percentage game with you. So what's the percentage chance right now, and this could change every 5 minutes if there's a report that comes out, but right now, day after the heartbreak, what's your percentage chance that Ben Simmons is not on the roster by game 1?
%40.
Okay. I'll go 60. And then Tobias.
I'll go 60 that he's on. I'll go 60 the other way on that. Or no, I'll go 75. I know that's not a high percentage, but it's pretty high. Like I don't know how you're moving 2 contracts like that, right? Like that's a lot to do. It's hard enough to move 1. Now you're moving 2. I don't know how you do it. And I know Doc likes Tobias a lot, so so it's just crazy.
Let me see here. Tom's cellmate says, am I the only one that thinks Ben should be a Sixer at the start of next year to see what work he put in during the offseason and maybe get his trade value up because it's at an all-time low right now? Yeah, I mean, the hopeful fan of me, if there's any hope left with him, would say, okay, well, the microscope is on him even more now, but it's always been on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like this guy has not faced adversity before in the playoffs. I get it, not to this magnitude, but again, if things aren't going to click in the first 5 years, I don't. And also, say it did. I feel like that's a friggin', like, I'll take it if it finally clicks, but I feel like that is an indictment if it takes it all this for you to finally lock in. Like, you're going to let things get this bad, not just for the team, but for your freaking career. You're a laughing stock right now.
Yeah, it's the biggest yips per se that I've ever witnessed, right? We've seen some yips in our life, and this is a big one. This is definitely a big one. I mean, you can't even shoot free throws. I mean, you already struggle with it enough during the regular season. And, I mean, I think a bunch of us will be begging for 60% in the playoffs. That got worse. It's almost like when people purposely put you on the line and put the spotlight on you, you came up the smallest. And that's telling. That's telling. No matter what stat lines people want to give me, no matter what other bullshit people want to give me, they're the telling times right there. Right there. That's what tells you everything you need to know about players.
What's up, RB?
In this league, you got to be better than this.
Yep.
And even a little bit better than this gets this team to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's why it's even worse. Who the hell are you trading him for? I would have fucking traded him yesterday. He wouldn't even got out of the locker room. But who are you trading him for? Who's giving you return of anything that's going to get this team to the next level? So I understand people's points about, holding on to them because the value is as low as they'll ever be. It could get lower than this too. I mean, you think this is bad? I mean, it could get even worse.
TT says, Woj reported that the Sixers don't think they will get great value back for Simmons, so they will develop his shot in the offseason. Yeah, he's staying. If that's true, he's staying.
I'm telling people just get ready for it. I'm not going to put myself through it when I know he is staying, right? I'm not going to put myself through it again. So, I'm just preparing myself for what's about to come. And what's about to come is exactly what TT said and what opened the show with, is that they're going to try to spin you something. Spin you right round, baby, right round. And here we are.
I just don't know how you sell it to the fan base.
Not going to be able to. So I told you, marketing team's going to have to be brilliant.
Dennis says, would you guys take McCollum or Levine for Ben and change? We talked about it earlier, Dennis. I would take both of them in 2 seconds. I don't think it's very realistic, though. That change would have to be a lot of change, like picks and picks and picks and players and players. Bill, I guess this is Bill's official prediction. He says Simmons for CJ. That's the trade I see happening. Doesn't have Ben's D, but gives Embiid that inside-outside game the organization has never given him. It works for both sides. No, I hear you. Like, would you be cool with that, Tom? McCollum? I know he's not Dame.
Wow. You know what I mean? Since we go from him
go to the guy to the sidekick.
Yeah. I don't know. I like CJ McCollum, but you're not in the position to say no to it.
Nope.
And that's the crazy thing about it.
Let's see. Gio, who are some guys you think we could get for Simmons? I don't know. I mean, I have a bunch of things. I don't even want to torture Tom with it. Like, I have a bunch of names, but I don't even like. It's low. I would just say this: it's lower than the names that people were expecting. And Terrell, thanks for the super chat. Who could we get for Harris? It's the same situation.
Yeah, it looks like a bad contract. When you're talking about things that look like bad contracts, you don't get value back for those.
Bold Brew, thanks for the super chat. Ben to the Cavs for Sexton and Love. I actually had a Cavs thing, so I'll read that. My Cavs one. So tell me if you would do this, Tom. Money works, obviously. We would be sending Ben Simmons to the Cavs, and we'd be getting back Larry Nance, Taurean Prince, Colin Sexton.
Yeah, I don't have a choice.
I don't even like that trade, but that's like for everyone saying what's the package, it's probably something like that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You're not getting their lottery pick. So like everyone's saying, oh, trade him to Detroit. Well, I don't think you're getting a lottery pick for Simmons. You're getting like Jeremy Grant and Josh Jackson for Ben Simmons. I would do that. I like Jeremy Grant. What's RP saying?
Time to get a super team, y'all. Yeah, I just don't know how you get a guy like Dean. I don't think you have enough to get him. You know what I mean? I don't think there's enough on this roster to pull it off. Unless it's somewhere he wants out of, and but I still feel like they get more maybe from somebody else, or maybe they can't.
Yeah, Kyle, we want super players, but you're not going to get a super player. That's the thing. If we all know who Ben Simmons is and he stinks, why would one a team give up their super team or their super player for a guy who stinks? That's what I'm saying.
Well, the only way is if a guy's at the end of a deal, they don't feel like they can sign a guy. I mean, they're the only ways you can pray for. They're the only ways.
And that's why I brought up LaVine, because that's the fear in Chicago. It's that LaVine is going to leave Chicago for nothing, because they do not believe under any circumstance that he's going to re-sign there.
Yeah. No, I'm not sleeping on Sexton, Philly Tex. I like Sexton. It's just funny he came to that.
No, he scores. I'll give him that. He scores.
Yeah, Robert, I know he did trade Al Horford, but I don't know. A little less polarizing than this.
Saying I don't think we can get SGA. I don't think we'd be able to get SGA. I would take him in 2 seconds. RB, that's what it would take, RB. Ben in 5 firsts. What was the Paul George trade when he went to the Clippers? Wasn't it a bunch of picks?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me pull that up. But again, that was also an OKC team that was tanking. I don't know that the Blazers think they're going to tank. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dame hasn't formally requested a trade.
Yeah, I mean, the only way they're considering themselves tanking is if he wants out.
Yeah, which I feel like we would have heard already. Like, from my understanding, he has major pull in the coaching search. That's why Chauncey's so high up there. He wanted Kidd, but Kidd pulled his name out of there. You know, apparently it's down to Becky Hammond and Chauncey. So if he has major say and he gets his guy, then I don't think he would request a trade. You know what I mean? Oh, it was 4 firsts for Paul George. Philly take? Okay.
Okay. I mean, anything's possible if a guy wants out of somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't believe that a team can sign him. And I'm sorry, they don't believe it. They can sign the guy. Then every team's up for that. Brady, it's a little hard to stop blaming one player. You all blew huge leads. Fuck out of here, go Hawks. So you must have not watched enough, Freeze. All right, you must have not watched enough of this series then, which wouldn't surprise me from a Hawks fan. Yeah, that one I don't know. I'm a fun guy. I don't know why they would do that.
The Cavs are going to move off of him because they believe Colin Sexton is too much of a ball hog. Their quote, not mine.
Yeah, but what's his contract?
I think he has 2 more years left.
Yeah, so it's not like they have to. They're not in like that have to right now.
No.
Just to say, I hear what I'm a fun guy saying. I hear that with everybody Ben Simmons is in a trade for. You know what I mean? Why would they give you that guy for him? Why would they give you that guy for him? I mean, I could give you 40 trades and say, why would you give him? Why would that team give you that guy?
Like, would you do Simmons for TJ Warren and Karis LeVert on the Pacers?
Absolutely fucking not. And I fucking hate Ben Simmons, and I'm not making that deal.
Okay, good.
And I think that's how Daryl Morey is going to have to think about it too. Is that, you know, he can not believe in the guy anymore just like the rest of us do. And also know that, okay, you know, I also can't take that back.
Would you do Ben Simmons, George Hill, Matisse Thybulle, and a first-round pick for De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield?
Yeah, I guess I have to. Yep.
You're getting basically speed and a killer in De'Aaron, and then you're getting another shooter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like a, you know.
I actually think the Kings would do that, by the way.
They might be in a West Coast team.
And because they have Halliburton, who they love, they need defense who has Simmons. Buddy Hield wants out of there anyway. and you're getting Matisse Thybulle, who's also, a big-time defender, and you're getting a pick. Yes, everyone, I understand Fox is a monster. That's why I gave up 3 big things and a pick. That's why.
Yeah, like I said, anything's possible, but not possible too, because we know who the guy we're trying to put in the deal is. Right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to sell it. It's hard to sell it. Hard to sell for any player. It's crazy. It's crazy how fast that happened.
Well, I mean, Tom, if I would have told you this time last year that within the course of 4 months we would be saying goodbye to Wentz and Ben Simmons, what would you have told me?
Typical Philly.
That's the correct. Hey, I knew you were going to say that.
Because we have nothing nice things wise.
No.
If you're thinking about it, there's nothing to look forward to.
No.
Until maybe next basketball season, and then I love watching them, but then it's there's the regular season doesn't fucking matter. So I'm watching it, wondering, will we get out of the second round, right? And if you can't get out of the second round against a Hawks team, and everyone's telling me to blow them and give them all this credit, good credit, okay? If you get that, if you shrivel up that much against a Hawks team with home court and there's 3 games at home, and I'm supposed to trust anything anymore, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm not. D'Angelo Russell's not coming near this locker room, so he's just never coming near here.
What do you say to all the Zion for Simmons stuff, Tom? Because I see a lot of that floating around in A2D circles. I see that floating around.
Well, New Orleans isn't going to give him up, and if they were interested in, then yes, I do it in a heartbeat. Heartbeat. Not even a question.
Now, do you worry? I do it in a heartbeat also, but do you worry about the injury thing? Pairing him up with Embiid?
No, I can't worry about any of that anymore. I got to get rid of this loser.
Yeah, you know what? True, because it's not like Simmons is always healthy.
Yeah, and I'd rather just know a guy's going to take it hard to the basket, even though he can't, he might be limited in other areas. And I know the league would love for him to win. So, you know what I mean?
DeJounte Murray, Troy. I saw that. He's the same. I mean, he's like a Simmons with balls, though. He can't shoot threes. He's a good defender. He will shoot, but he really can't shoot. Oh, my God. I can't believe we're doing the DeJounte Murray. I like DeJounte, but if a year ago you would have told me the best offer we could get is friggin' Simmons for DeJounte. Damn. And I like him. I'm not calling him trash.
Oh, do Lonzo for Simmons in a minute, but why would they? Then they got Simmons and Zion. It doesn't really fit.
No. Imagine the spacing on that. Jesus.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. I mean, in a heartbeat now. I can't believe I'm saying that after all this time, but yes. Actually watch one guy get better and one guy not. Mm-hmm. Complete opposites. Opposite day.
Lonzo and Maxey would be fun.
Yeah. TT, I told you that. As bad as it is, I would just take Terry Rozier at this point. I told you this. You can just give me Terry Rozier at this point. I don't even care anymore.
I can't do it. I can't do it, Tom. Your line is D'Lo. My line is Terry Rozier. That's just something we'll never see eye to eye on. I can't do the Terry. I can't do it.
No, I hear you. I'm not saying that's where I was citing my. That's not what I was hoping on.
I would turn friggin' Embiid into a point guard and turn Simmons into a center before I did that. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, Embiid played more point, seemed like, than Ben Simmons this series.
Oh, yeah, random gamer. I mean, is there any way of pulling that off? Then sure, sign me up. Then hope Paul George wins without him. Right? Because if Paul George can win without him, maybe you can pull it off. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know why they would, but they get Ben in the LA market.
I actually completely agree with Jason here. Damn it! See, See how crazy this is?
I hate Porzingis, and I'll take Porzingis over him. And Porzingis stinks.
Ben and Luka would be interesting. Like, can we get Hardaway? Can we get like Hardaway in a sign-in trade, please?
Can like Luka demand out and say he wants to play with Embiid?
Yeah, that'd be great. But honestly, I think I'm shocked nobody said Beal in this chat. I think everyone understands that we're not that ship has sailed.
No, but Westbrook I would do. People aren't going to like that one either. I don't care. I'll do that one too.
That one puts me in like a friggin' mental pretzel, Tom. If you take the heart of Russell Westbrook and you inject it into Simmons, and Russell, he's actually healthy. He's gonna be around. He's a killer, all that stuff, right? But damn, just something about him drives me nuts.
I agree.
What is Ralph sending me? Oh, he's sending me. There's something happened. Hold on. Brian Windhorst on Ben Simmons. One of the things I've been told is on the table, hasn't been decided, but is on the table, is examining whether he changes his dominant shooting hand from left to right. Here we go. This is the seller. Oh, we're going to change his hand. 5 years too late. Oh, he's staying in Philly, but he's a right-hander now. I hate it here. Where was that 4 years ago when everybody on friggin' Twitter said that?
This is why I didn't want to do nothing of that. Because
we have Handgate. This is Handgate, Tom. Handgate.
Oh my God. Now we're switching hands. We're gonna tie the left. What are you gonna do? You're gonna tie his left hand behind his back now? Is that what we're gonna do? We're gonna do shooting videos, Larry Bird drill, right? Like you can be freaking here the whole freaking time. Just here, the left is tied behind his back. It's a freaking joke, dude. This is a joke. It's embarrassing. This is worse than this is the most embarrassing statement ever delivered by an organization of all time in all professional sports of all time. The most embarrassing little freaking tidbit released. Like it's the worst. Think about that. You know what? Guy wasn't working out batting right-handed. We're gonna bat him left. What? Guy didn't work out on the mound throwing right-handed. We're actually gonna try his left hand. We think he's really a lefty. You say what? What the fuck did you just say to me? You understand what I'm saying to you guys out there? You got a field goal kicker. I really don't think he's really a righty. We're going to try him at left if you owe him a lot of money. Huh? Yeah, like we say about Carson Wentz. We really think that the reason he's struggling a little bit with accuracy is he's really a left-hander. Can you believe it?
This is worse than when the Pelicans a year ago said that after Zion's most recent injury, they were going to teach him how to walk again. This is worse than that. They're going to teach him how to use his hands. A basketball player.
No, we're not even teaching how to use his hands. We're not trying to tell you that he might be right-handed. What? Well, a lot of us knew this already. A lot of us could tell you that we think he was right-handed the whole thing. But
now we've had some kind of freaking epiphany. Oh my God, maybe I'm not a left-hander.
This is the most depressing thing in sports all time. Like you're getting nothing. You're not even getting a bust. You understand? You're not even getting a bust. This is like worse than a bust. Yes, Mac. That's why Jimmy couldn't get out of here quick enough. And where was the other one about? For Markel. Yep, I would the one for Markel right now too. Simmons for carry. Why would Golden State do that?
All right. Would you do Simmons for Wiggins?
No.
Okay, good. Who was freaking Chris Broussard this morning said they should do, because he says Ben Simmons on the Warriors is a perfect fit. Of course, yeah, send more people to them. He said that the Sixers should try to do a Simmons for Draymond straight up. That's life. That's
yeah, that's ridiculous. But I mean, at this point, no, I'm not doing Simmons heroes.
No.
Yeah, I think we have to be a little bit have a little logic here. You know what I mean?
Oh. Ralph just sent me this. According to league sources, Ben Simmons' frustration about being relegated to the off-ball duty point guard during the 2019 second-round loss to the Raptors contributed heavily to the front office's decision to not re-sign Jimmy Butler.
Read that one more time.
Sure. Pull it up again. According to league sources, I'll shorten it. Ben Simmons' frustration at being relegated to the off-ball duty point guard during the team's 2019 second-round loss to the Raptors contributed heavily to the front office's decision to not re-sign Jimmy Butler. So, translation, Ben got upset about being put in the corner and about it becoming Jimmy's team. Jimmy saw the softness in Ben, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to side with the guy who can't shoot.
Yeah, I would fire Elton Brand immediately too then.
Yep.
If we're gonna let woe is me dictate what we do basketball wise. And then if you're gonna be upset about that and then not develop your game moving forward is even more telling.
He got worse, Tom. He got worse.
So
Forget about developing. He got worse.
Yeah, everything's owed to me. Everything's owed to me as a player. You know, I'm owed this. It's the type of generation we're in a little bit, but I'm owed it. You're not owed nothing. You're owed the money you're owed. It's where it ends. You ain't owed nothing. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. The whole process, they're all bust.
And that's the thing too. Like we thought while watching the regular season that we got away with some of our big time mistakes in the process years, right? Or even in the Brett Brown years. But you're starting to see not only with our shortcomings, but with other teams' success that the years of taking Fultz, now Simmons, and taking Zaire over Bridges, and I get it, fam. Oh, you use Zaire and the pick to get Tobias, but again, how does that look right now? And you took Shamitz, and you took Thibault, and you took, you know what I'm saying? All these shortcomings, and Okafor, I almost friggin' forgot about Okafor, and the Nerlens Noel picks of the world. That's all catching up to us now. To where if you just hit on a couple of those.
It just had to be Ben. We can have the whole other conversation. It just had to be Ben. Hit. Had to be Joe and Ben. Hit. And it didn't. You went 1 for 2 in terms of them. And this is why you're at home now. And there's nothing left to say about it in terms of that. Like, I don't know how they get better. I don't know how this basketball team gets better. You know, unless this dude takes a gigantic step, which isn't happening, I do not know how they get better.
It just haunts me that I look back and listen, things are doom and gloom, and you know we don't know what the future lies and all that stuff. But we know obviously how bad it looked right after we got eliminated and swept in the bubble. So there are ways to get out of it. But the thing that haunts me and keeps me up at night is that we can look back after all this is said and done, right? And we can look at how the best chance we had at winning a championship was when we got Kawhi bounced. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can look back on that and be like, oh, my God.
Could say that, but I could also say the best chance we had to win a championship was this year because, you know, we blew an 18-point lead and a 26-point lead in back-to-back basketball games. And then top that by saying, hold our beer, we're going to lose a game 7 at home too. So, I mean, Kawhi bounce you is also a better team.
Yeah, at least you lost to a friggin' machine.
Yeah, this year you did. This year you didn't.
No.
Yeah, he's mentally broken. In terms of Ben, there's nothing you can do about it. There really is nothing you can do about it. Like, if you don't trade him, you're just stuck with the same thing again. Like, you're now hoping and fucking praying, right, that he figures something out.
And it sucks because that's the same deal that we've been sitting here with the last 2-3 seasons.
And it's going to happen again.
Yep.
And it's going to continue to happen because they're not going to be able to fucking deal him. They're just not going to be able to deal with this guy. It's just Philly. Like, and if they do, it's going to be a shit deal. And we're going to be like, fuck. Like somebody said John Wall and picks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we get picks back from them. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a start over deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's your best. Like, there's some of your best options, right? I can't believe I'm having this conversation where you're like, okay, we're going to take John Wall back, but we're going to get, not, lottery picks that aren't protected, right?
Yeah.
And say, okay, well, we're going to start over a little bit here, right? Come on. Can you believe that? Like, I don't think that Doc Rivers and the rest of these guys would sign up for a start over either, right? So,
no.
I don't like. That's why I like. Again, for the record, I am trading this dude immediately, but I also aren't the ones on the phone hearing back like, oh, this is all I'm going to get for this fucking guy. Jesus God. All right, I'll just keep him then. You know what I mean? I'll keep him, get him in the lab. You know what I mean? We're going to get back to the lab. Maybe he's a right-hander. Like, you see how quick that came out? Maybe he's a right-hander. Like, that couldn't come out quick enough after the fact. Like, you're not even 24 hours after a loss, and that came out already. Oh, maybe he's a righty. What? Who's punking me? He's righty. What are you talking about? We thought that at times, but what are you talking about? Because they know they can't get anything for him. So how are they going to sell it to a fan base? They're going to, the great marketing that professional sports teams do. That's what they're going to try to do. And they're going to shove videos down our throat this offseason. Well, just watch. Just watch.
Air Max, thank you for the super chat. He says, passed up on Jamal Murray, Jaylen Brown, Brandon Ingram for Ben Simmons, passed up Jason Tatum, Markelle Fultz.
Yep. I mean, it's hard to look back at that. You pass up Mikal Bridges for Zaire Smith. You know what I mean? You traded that for Zaire. You know what I mean? It's a cluster of bad decisions. And then, as much as I was like, okay, with keeping Tobias, that's another bad decision over Jimmy.
Yep.
But you were never going to keep Jimmy. Listen, the Cleaver, I get you. But he's a part of that. As your second guy in terms of talent level. Right? You have to understand, we got to put everything in context. In a star-driven league, right? Your stars need the help. And in one of them games, one of them had 4 points, and one of the other have 6. And no shot in the fourth quarter again?
Yeah, I think 4 and 8, maybe 4 and 6.
Come on. Like, this is Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons' loss this series. It's as simple as that. Because it's a star-driven goddamn league. When your big money guys aren't doing it, you're in trouble.
Jay Lava says they were the number 1 seed, but they are not in the same class as the Nets, Bucks, Knicks. Nets and Bucks. Knicks are coming. Hawks, Heat. We will be no better than 6th in the East.
I disagree with that.
No, I also disagree. The Heat need to completely revamp their entire system, their organization. The Hawks are a young, gritty team. Okay, so they'll be around.
Yeah, I can't say they're not better than me right now. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you they're not better than me. They just beat me. So, sure. Yeah, they're better than us.
The Nets will be back, obviously. The Bucks, sure. And the Knicks, yeah. I mean, they're a destination finally, but
Yeah, I mean, the Knicks are tough. I mean, how good is RJ Barrett? All right. I mean, they don't have enough star power.
But they have the capability to get better. That's the thing. You're going to see these teams.
So do we.
Yeah. But that's the thing that sucks.
Not in terms of Ben Simmons getting better, just in terms of I'm never going to say anymore like, oh, we're just a jumper away from us being awesome, right? Like you're never going to hear me say that ever again. You know what I mean? But we can still get better.
Josh Taylor, thank you for the super chat. Crazy you guys declined the Harden trade.
Well, I think they declined it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like Houston, that is.
No. They had a trade done reportedly. They had a trade done in principle. They called the agents, but Houston declined it last minute.
Yeah, Houston declined it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Sixers representatives called our players to say, okay, get ready, be prepared, for this to happen. And then turns out Houston was just using Daryl and the Sixers as a pawn to raise the price from Brooklyn. That's how it played out. But no, obviously hindsight 20, and I was one of the few who wanted that to happen, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point. Doesn't matter what we could have done at the deadline. We could have gotten Levine or Lowry or Harden or XY. We didn't do it. They decided to go with their guys and hopefully and hope that two of their top 3 stars would show up.
Yeah, and it's just the inconsistencies of Tobias Harris in the postseason are another reason. Again, this team's going home, and then you add on, you put in the Ben Simmons effect, and anything that Ben Simmons was linked to that wasn't made looks bad right now. You know what I mean?
Bill was not happy. He says, effing joking with some of these comments. I'm not a Sixers fan. I'm not sticking up for Ben, but you're delusional to think a team won't give him a fresh start with new fans. He's elite with defense.
Yeah, I get you, Bill. I mean, there's always somebody out there that thinks they can fix the problem, right? When a guy's young enough. So again, I told you, I think there's always somebody. I said this last night. There's always somebody that thinks they can fix somebody. So I'm not going to run from that. But right now, it's just hard for me. Like, I don't want to be that homer who's going to come on here and tell people like you can get this A, B, C, and D for the guy. You know what I mean? I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to lie to the people and be like, yeah, you can get Dame for him. Like, what? If I'm a Portland fan, I say, fuck you. Right? But that doesn't mean that some of these smaller markets that are looking for like a start over wouldn't do it. Right? Like a Sacramento, like Ryan was saying. Like there's teams out there, Chicago, like there's teams out there that you could see like their thought process in it. Just like we were fooled a million times.
Yes.
Okay? Like you could fool somebody else too. And then you start spinning. Oh, he's a right-hander. And then next thing you know, you start having videos come out of him being wet from 3 in pickup games like we got fooled. Except this time it'll be wet with the right hand from 3. You know what I mean? Then you're really selling people. It's a joke.
No, to your point, Tom, it only takes one. It only takes one team, one GM, one coach to say, hey, I have the missing ingredient, or we have the missing ingredient as far as a roster to get this guy back on track.
Yep.
Let me see here.
Yeah, Harden and the Sixers both at home. Molly, so.
Yep. Dennis Kirby says, Ben, a 2021 first, 2023 first for Levine, Satoransky, and Arcidiacono. I mean, sure. I mean, I would do that. I don't know. That's it.
Well, what goes to the Timberwolves here? Matero, 3-team trade, Ben to the Wolves. Okay, Ben to the Wolves, picks to the Warriors, Steph to the Sixers.
No, guys, Steph Curry's not moving this year. They're going to run it back. He's a free agent next year. If he's moving, they're going to run it back. They're going to see what Clay is. They're probably the only guy that they're trading on the Warriors is Wiggins, or maybe Wiseman. Okay,
could they trade Curry though? Like Beansy's on the last year of his deal and knowing that there's a chance of him not signing back.
I don't think so, honestly. I think the only way they do that is if they have some inkling that Klay Thompson is never going to be the same again. I truly think they're going to revamp it. They're going to run it back one more time. And then if they can't get over the hump with the pieces that they had, before all of this went to hell the last couple of years in Golden State, then they'll move on.
Yeah,
and
they turn that down, though? Like, I don't know if they turn that down. Like, I don't know if you offer them Ben Simmons and picks and, like, just say you just talk to them, right? And you didn't get the Timberwolves involved, right? Or maybe you did, right? And you do a 3-team or whatever. But if they're getting picks and, maybe they do, but I could see them, like, again, because your guy got a guy on the last year of his deal. So if they have any inclination that they can't re-sign him, right, that he won't re-sign then yeah, they could. Do I think it's realistic? No, but I think there's always a chance. Now you have to go out with other things, right? You have to. I don't know how you do it.
That just seems to me more like, to your point, Tom, you're right. There's always a chance. But I think on the surface of what's going on, and to your point, something could change. There could be a freaking Woj bomb tomorrow that says Steph Curry worries about his future with Golden State. He wants to win now. Like that it's the NBA. The stuff is going to burst into flames every week. So to your point, yes, you're absolutely right. I just think
his brother's here. I mean,
he was in the arena twice in the last, I think, 3 home games. I think he was in the building watching Seth. I just think that trade would be more of a deadline trade. Like, okay, they try it and they're not the same, or maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't work. Then maybe they deal them at the deadline type thing.
Yeah, Josh, nobody wants that trade. I feel you. Yeah, as a Chicago fan, you don't want Ben either. So, I don't blame him. Appreciate the super chat, brother.
Yeah, appreciate all you guys.
And, I know picks mean nothing. You would have to get the Timberwolves involved in something like that to make for lottery picks.
What friends? He said, Laurie would have to be a sign-in trade, and he's always hurt, so I'm good. Kobe White, no. I like him, but no. I as a Sixers fan, I wouldn't do that. DeCleva says, how many years you think Embiid has left playing moving forward, especially with this torn meniscus? I mean, we're not going to try and play doctor, but I would just say the easy answer is the sentiment that, he's still 23 and we're going to have a 10-year window with this guy. I don't think that's, who knows? Maybe something can go right for Philly, but I think the window is much closer to 5 than 10.
Yeah, probably is.
No, Chris. No.
No.
I would do Simmons and Matisse for CJ.
Yeah, Jordan signed me up for that. You know what I mean? Simmons, Matisse, and Maxey for Dame. I don't know. They do that.
That's one of the only trades I would send Maxey. That's one of the only ones I would move him.
Yeah, if I get a ball dominant guard, I don't need him.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they do. It's going to be an interesting offseason, but you can already sense and smell the lingerings of cover up, right? And we're going to get back in the lap, and he's right-handed, and all these other things because they don't believe they can move him already. They believe they know. Well, we all know and we all talked about, right? If I'm an exec, I'm hanging up the phone on you. Saying, what do you think? I'm an idiot, Daryl? You know what I mean? What do you think? I'm a moron?
Natero says Blazers fans. I guess you're a Blazers fan, Natero. Says Blazers fans hate CJ. He's their guard version of Tobias Harris and a bad defender.
Yeah, it's true. It's truth. I like CJ, but you know what I mean?
Oh no, he's not the perfect candidate.
No,
that's for damn sure.
And at this point, what is? But it is what it is. Like I said, it is what it is. Simmons for Wiggins? No.
Because again, he's like, I look at him like a Tobias. He's a number 3. He's not a number 2. No, I don't want Mike Conley.
So like Doc saying we have work to do. It's not going to be an easy job, but it's definitely a job that Ben can do. On Ben improving his shooting. There's nothing to improve when you don't do it. Like it starts with doing it in a game. Like you want to continue to tell me about improving it. You can't improve it if you don't do it in a game. If you don't do it in a game atmosphere, you're never improving it. Take 1 million shots in the gym. Well, then you got to go try to translate them shots into an arena. And you wouldn't do it without fans there. And you got worse when they showed up. He shrunk when the fans showed up again.
That's what I don't understand. And listen, like, I don't agree with a lot of what Shaquille O'Neal says, but, you know, it goes to your point, Tom, what he said last night. Like the whole, oh, well, you know, I recognize now that I wasn't there offensively. Doc saying, oh, well, we recognize now that there's work that needs to be done. Well, where was that work when you were friggin' playing? Where was that work before you were eliminated again in the second round? Like it's beyond the, oh, where are the 3-pointers? Where are the 12-foot jumper? We're begging for damn layups and dunks and free throws. Nobody's mentioned 3-point shot in seems like a month with this guy. Where's the in-game adjustments? Where's the, oh, I'm going to show up after being a complete disappearing act for game 1 and 2? Like, I can't stand the after the fact talking. And I get it. Tom, you always tell me, and you're right. Like, what are they going to say? What do you want them to say? I get it. But damn.
Yeah, that's what you're going to say in the season. And then when it doesn't go your way, you know, then you're gonna obviously have to admit to the problem, right? I mean, that's just how it goes. At least they admitted to the problem. I mean, first goddamn step is somebody actually admitting that there's an issue here, right? I mean, you got to admit that there's an issue. And finally, at least I heard there's an issue. I still don't think that issue is going to change, but I finally heard that there's an issue. At least it's a good start. I mean, we should have started with that 5 fucking years ago, but it's a good start.
That's why I didn't understand. People were legitimately angry at Doc Rivers for saying what he said about Simmons last night, about saying he doesn't know the answer to the question on is Ben Simmons good enough to be a point guard on a championship team. It's like, what do you want him to say? Like, I get it. He can do the BS coach speak that he's been doing all year of, oh, we believe in X, Y, and Z, but what was that, Tom?
For him to.
No.
There's no reason for him to do it.
They're eliminated. They're going home. And also, he's not going to get fired, but if he keeps deflecting blame, well, if the coach is going to say, oh, it's not Tobias Harris's fault, it's not Ben Simmons' fault, well, is it your fault, Doc?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's Ben's, obviously.
Yeah. Doc is third. Doc is third on the list. It's Ben, Tobias, Doc.
Yeah, I don't even put Doc third just because I just watched another coach do it too. So, you know what I mean? I watched another coach not get this team over it either. Yeah. Even though this is ugly too. Like it's going to be him next year. You know what I mean? You're right. Yeah. You get your one freebie, right? Now you have a whole year off season, etc. So here we go. We'll find out. But listen, stay tuned tonight. You got the Sports Hounds followed by Flight Zone. So sure the Sixers conversation will continue to flow tonight. We appreciate everybody who's chimed in, who's hit that like, subscribe. We love y'all. Sad it had to end this way. We'll be back on Wednesday night. But listen, it is what it is. And if you're not from Philly, you'll never understand. You just never understand the disappointment. So here's to a fun off season. And we'd like to thank the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox for bringing Monday Morning Quarterback to you. We know many of us and our families deal with mental health and addiction issues, and we are happy to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, please call 856-651-8117. That's Ryan Brodo. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, like we said, we appreciate you, and you can get your A2D memberships over on YouTube if you haven't already. Perks include appearances on shows, members-only live stream, shout-outs, and weekly sports picks from Money Pop Podcast, and some daily fantasy advice from Willie Vegas. You also get discounted A2D merch. You can get a Thrust the Process t-shirt. You get 20% off of that, and we'll have more and more stuff coming there. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, become an A2D member. Like I said, $9.99 a month, and you can go right to our description too and pull up the member link. So right there, easy for you. Thank you guys all for allowing us the vent another time about it, and for you guys to be able to get it off your chest too, because it makes us all feel better. Thank you all. We love you. We out.